Hey y'all, happy Sunday. I just wanted to share this real quick. This is something that I woke up to really a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't shared it, but I feel compelled to share it now. It's Isaiah 54. It says, "Sing, O barren, thou that did not bear." Okay, now this is the King James Version. Okay, so we're going to translate a little bit. "Sing, O barren, thou that did not bear. Break forth into singing and cry aloud, thou that did not travail with child. For more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife, says the Lord. Enlarge the place of your tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of your habitations. Spare not, lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes. For you shall break forth on the right hand and on the left, and your seed shall inherit the Gentiles and make the desolate cities to be inhabited. Fear not, for you shall not be ashamed, neither be you confounded, for you shall not be put to shame, for you shall forget the shame of your youth, and shall not remember the reproach of your widowhood anymore." Okay, tongue-tied. I wanted to share that because I know that there are specifically women out there. Now, there's men too, but right now I'm talking to women. And there are things that you desire in your personal life. You may desire children. You may be of age. And in this society, they start using words like geriatric when you are 35 and older, okay? As a matter of fact, the documentary, which is coming soon, that I did focuses on this demographic of women, specifically Black women, but I'm talking to all women right now that are of a more mature age, and you don't have children, and you're currently not married. This chapter, I want to say, like I said, 2 weeks ago, I woke up and during my devotion time, it fell to this chapter. And I really felt like that God wanted to let you and wanted to let me know that He sees you. He sees you. Sing, O barren. Singing, usually when we're singing, it's because we're happy. It's because something good has happened, or we feel joy. Sing now. Now, when it comes to addressing that, the child, that the women that did not have children or have not had children yet, that it says that for more are your children, more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife, says the Lord. So if He's talking about physical children, spiritual children, impact in this world, He says, enlarge your tent. Get ready for more. Get ready for exponential growth. Don't focus on what you think you don't have. He's saying, sing now, because you're about to experience producing. You're about to experience growth. That encouraged me. Sometimes we do get afraid that life is not going to turn out any differently than it is now, especially if you've had a number of disappointments or setbacks. Many of you know that I am divorced, something that I did not think that I was going to experience, but I did, and thank God I'm healed from it. But it is still an experience that I had not planned for. And because of who I am, there's certain things that I only wanted under the confines of the marriage experience, and motherhood went with that. Sometimes this chapter, Isaiah 54:4, fear not, Why is he saying fear not? Because he knows that we have fears. We have fears when it comes to how life is going, about the future, about what we may be experiencing in the present. Fear not, for you shall not be ashamed. Neither be confounded, for you shall not be put to shame. For you shall forget the shame of your youth, and shall not remember the reproach of your widowhood anymore. So widowhood means that you had something and it was lost. Fear not, for you will not be made ashamed. There can sometimes be a level of shame. I learned this as I was going through this process of making my documentary Fairy Tales, which focuses on Western society's views of Black, childless, single women, straight women, age 35 and older. It focuses on that demographic and the image and the views of these women versus the reality of their lives. And do they match? What I learned in the process of doing this documentary is that there is, for some women, a lot of fear that it will never happen for them. And I'm not talking about just children. I'm talking about finding that partner, that love, finding their match. There's a fear. And men have that fear too, I also discovered, because sometimes we think that men don't feel the same feelings we do in terms of emotionally, but that's not true. There are men that you see that they're of a certain age and they've never been married. They may have children, and some of them don't have children and have never been married. They are in the same demographic as the women. You more so will find men that have children that's never been married than both. Okay, both not being married and not having children. But some people feel fear and shame. They feel shame that they haven't been able to have that in their lives at this point. And many people, I think most of us, if we are, the traditional thinking person, especially in this society, Western society, but even in other countries, like that, people get married young, like it is a focus. And in this country, a lot of people get married young and start having children young or whatever. And if you are outside of that, then sometimes, especially if you actually desire that or have desired that, there's a level of shame of like, well, what's wrong with me? Why haven't I? And some people will actually tell you something's wrong with you. Most likely ain't nothing wrong with you. Now, some people are crazy. That's just the fact. But most likely there's nothing wrong with you. It's just the fact that you just haven't met up with that person yet. Or you have, and for some reason was unable to identify that was the person, and vice versa. Sometimes I think that we actually have more control in this area than we give ourselves credit for. And I think part of us not giving ourselves that credit is because we really sometimes don't want to take responsibility for it, especially people of faith. It's easier to say, I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting on God to bring that person in my life. I'm waiting. So it actually takes the onus, the responsibility off of us. It makes it more mystical. But the reality is that we make choices. Most likely you could be married right now. I'll never forget when my father told me that. He was like, you could be ready. You could be remarried right now. you got, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, what? And he was like, no. He was like, you're not, because you're making the choice not to. And I got a little annoyed with him. But when I really thought about it, it was true. We all make our choices. You have come across people, and maybe even a good woman or a good man, that you could have built something with. But for one reason or another, you chose not to do it. You chose not to. It's not because it wasn't in your grasp. It wasn't because they were unwilling. Sometimes you've made the decision because it's not quite what you want, or you don't have the level of feeling or love. Like, there's a lot of reasons why we make the choices that we do. Maybe we're not in full alignment in any particular area, and you're not willing to bend. And so therefore you don't move forward with it. That is a choice. So I understood what he meant by that, even though it didn't feel good, because again, I think all of us have a little touch of fairy tale in us. A little touch of, it's out of my control, and we have this image of what it's going to be like and what it's going to feel like and all of these things. And when we haven't experienced that yet, or we've experienced it and it didn't work out, then we put all of these reasons. We put all these reasons on it. But Isaiah 54, it is for the woman who is single and childless. Go read it. And I would even venture to say that even if you are married and childless and you desire a child, go read it and be encouraged. Even though it's addressing the woman, because it's talking about childbirth and, barren. Usually barren is attached to women because of the womb. But I would even say for men who desire marriage and children and you haven't gotten it yet, go read it and be encouraged. Okay?